Medea, thou craven villain, for that is the only name my tongue can find for thee, a foul reproach on thy unmanliness, comest thou to me, thou most hated foe of gods, of me, and of all mankind. 'Tis no proof of courage or hardihood to confront thy friends after injuring them, but that worst of all human diseases, loss of shame. Yet hast thou done well to come, for I shall ease my soul by reviling thee, and thou wilt be vexed at my recital. I will begin at the very beginning. I saved thy life, as every Hellene knows, who sailed with thee aboard the good ship Argo, when thou wert sent to tame and yoke fire-breathing bulls, and to sow the deadly tilth. Yea, I slew the dragon which guarded the golden fleece, keeping sleepless watch over it with many a wreath coil. And I raised for thee a beacon of deliverance. Father, Father and home of my free will, I left and came with thee to Ilcus, neath Pelion's hills, for my love was stronger than my prudence. Next, I caused the death of Peleus by a doom most grievous, even by his own children's hand, beguiling them of all their fear. All this I have done for thee, thou traitor, and thou hast cast me over, taking to thyself another wife, though children have been born to us. Hadst thou been childless still, I could have pardoned thy desire for this new union. Gone is now the trust I put in oaths. I cannot even understand whether thou thinkest that the gods of old no longer rule, or that fresh decrees are now in vogue amongst mankind. For thy conscience must still, for thy conscience must tell thee thou hast not kept faith with me. Ah, poor right hand, which thou didst often grasp, these knees thou didst embrace. All in vain, I suffered a traitor to touch me. How short of my hopes I am fallen. But come, I will deal with thee as though thou wert my friend. Yet what kindness can I expect from one so base as thee? But yet I will do it, for my questioning will show thee yet more base. Whither can I turn thee now? To my father's house? To my own country, which I for thee deserted to come hither? To the hapless daughters of Peleus? A glad welcome, I trow, would they give me in their home, whose father's death I compassed? My case stands even thus. I am become the bitter foe to those of mine own home, and those whom I need never have wronged. I have made mine enemies to pleasure thee. Wherefore to reward me for this thou hast made me doubly blessed in the eyes of many a wife in Hellas, and in thee I own a peerless, trusty Lord. O woe is me, if indeed I am to be cast forth in exile from the land, without one friend, one lone woman with her babes forlorn. Yea, a fine reproach to thee in thy bridal hour, that thy children and the wife who saved thy life are beggars and vagabonds. O Zeus, why hast thou granted unto man clear signs to know the sham and gold, while on man's brow no brand is stamped, whereby to gauge the villain's heart? Chorus. There is something terrible and past all cure, where when quarrels arise, 'twixt those are near and dear. Jason. Needs must I now, it seems, turn order, and, like a good helmsman on a ship with close reefed sails, weather that wearisome tongue of thine. Now I believe, since thou wilt exaggerate thy favors, that to Cyprus alone of gods or men I owe the safety of my voyage. Thou hast a subtle wit enough, yet were it a hateful thing for me to say that the love God constrained thee by his resistless shaft to save my life. However, I will not reckon this too nicely. 'Twas kindly done, however thou didst serve me. Yet for my safety hast thou received more than ever thou gavest, as I will show. First, thou dwellest in Hellas instead of thy barbarian land, and hast learned what justice means. and how to live by law, not by the dictates of brute force. And all the Hellenes recognize thy cleverness, and thou hast gained a name, whereas if thou hadst dwelt upon the confines of the earth, no tongue had mentioned thee. Give me no gold within my halls, nor skill to sing a fairer strain than ever Orpheus sang, unless therewith my fame be spread abroad. So much I say to thee about my own toils, for 'twas thou didst challenge me to this retort. As for the taunts thou urgest against my marriage with the princess, I will prove to thee first that I am prudent herein, next, chastened in my love, and last, a powerful friend to thee and to thy sons. Only hold thy peace. Since I have here withdrawn from Ilcus with many a hopeless trouble at my back, what happier device could I, an exile, frame than marriage with the daughter of the king? 'Tis not because I loathe thee for my wife, the thought that rankles in thy heart. 'Tis not because I am smitten with desire for a new bride, nor yet that I am eager to vie with others in begetting many children. For those we have are quite enough, and I do not complain. Nay, 'tis that we, and this is most important, may dwell in comfort instead of suffering want. For well I know that every whilom friend avoids the poor, and that I might rear my sons as doth befit my house. Further, that I might be the father of brothers, for the children thou hast borne, and raise these to the same high rank, uniting the family in one, to my lasting bliss. Thou indeed hast no need of more children, but me it profits to help my present family, by that which is to be. Have I miscarried here? Not even thou wouldest say so, unless rival charms rankled in thy bosom. No, but you women have such strange ideas that you think all is well, so long as your married life runs smooth. But if some mischance occur to ruffle your love, all that was good and lovely you reckon to your foes. Yea, men should have begotten children from some other source. No female race existing, thus would no suffer ever have fallen on mankind. Chorus. This speech, O Jason, hast thou with specious art arranged, but yet I think, albeit in saying so, I betray indiscretion, that thou hast sinned in casting over thy wife. Medea. No doubt I differ from the mass of men on many points, for to my mind, whoso hath skill to fence with words in an unjust case, incurs the heaviest penalty. For such as an one, confident that he can cast a decent veil of words o'er his injustice, dares to practice it. And yet he is not so very clever after all. So do not thou put forth thy specious pleas and clever words to me now, for one word of mine will lay thee low. Hadst thou not had a villain's heart, thou shouldst have gained my consent, then made this match, instead of hiding it from those who loved thee. Jason, thou wouldst have lent me ready aid, no doubt, in this proposal, if I had told thee of my marriage, seeing that not even now canst thou restrain thy soul's hot fury. Medea, this was not what restrained thee, but thine eye was turned towards old age, and a foreign wife began to appear indiscreditable to thee. Jason, be well assured of this, 'twas not for the woman's sake. I wedded the king's daughter, my present wife, but, as I have already told thee, I wish to ensure thy safety and to be the father of royal sons, bound by blood to mine own children, a bulwark to our house. Medea, may that prosperity whose end is woe ne'er be mine, nor such wealth as would ever sting my heart. Jason, change that prayer as I will teach thee, and thou wilt show more wisdom. Never let happiness appear in sorrow's guise, nor, when thy fortune smiles, pretend she frowns. Medea, mock on, thou hast a place of refuge. I am alone, an exile soon to be. Jason, thou own free will was this. Blame no one else. Medea, what did I do? Marry, then betray thee? Jason, against the king thou didst invoke an impious curse. Medea, on thy house, too, maybe I bring the curse. Jason, know this, I will no further dispute this point with thee. But if thou wilt have a fortune somewhat take for the children, or thyself to help thy exile, say on, for I am ready to grant it with ungrudging hand. Yea, and to send tokens to my friends elsewhere, who shall treat thee well. If thou refuse this offer, thou wilt do a foolish deed, but if thou cease from anger, the greater will be thy gain. Medea, I will have naught to do with friends of thine, naught will I deceive of thee. Offer it not to me. A villain's gift can bring no blessing. Jason, at least I call the gods to witness that I am ready in all things to serve thee and thy children. But thou dost scorn my favors and thrustest my friends stubbornly away, wherefore thy lot will be more bitter still. Medea, away, but love for thy young bride entrapped. Too long thou lingerest outside her chamber. Go wed, for, if God will, thou shalt have such a marriage as thou wouldest fain refuse. Chorus. When in excess and past all limits love doth come, he brings not glory or repute to man. But if the Cyprian queen in moderate might approach, no goddess is so full of charm as she. Never, oh never, lady mine, discharge at me from thy golden bow a shaft invincible, in passion's venom dipped. On me may chastity, heaven's fairest gift, look with a favoring eye. Never may Cyprus, goddess dread, fasten on me a temper to dispute, or restless, jealous, smiting my soul with mad desire for unlawful love. But may she hallow peaceful married life and shrewdly decide whom each of us shall wed. O my country, O my dear home, God grant I may never be an outcast from my city, leading that cruel, helpless life, whose every day is misery. Ere that I may this life complete and yield to death, death, for there is no misery that doth surpass the land of fatherland. I have seen with my eyes, nor from the lips of death, for there is no misery that doth surpass the loss of fatherland. I have seen with my eyes, nor from the lips of others, that I the lesson learned, no city, not one friend doth pity thee in thy awful not one friend doth pity thee in this thine awful woe. May he perish and find no favor, whoso hath not in him honor for his friends, freely unlocking his heart to them. Never shall he be friend of mine.